That's last orders at the bar. Well, hello, you wonderful people.
Hello.
Welcome back for Open Bar Last Orders.
I see the intro changed while I was gone.
Yeah, one of my good friends was good enough to render up a nice little graphic of the Last Orders, and I put a little bit of sound effects on it to give it some story, and I think it looks quite nice. I like what they did there.
The mix of cheering and booing, because it's like, celebrate that it happened, not that it's ending.
Indeed. But yeah, it captures that absolute rage that you feel when you find out your local bar is about to shut and this is it. It's your last drink, and then you have to get turfed out. So,
and see, if you just drank at home alone, you wouldn't get kicked out, and you can drink forever.
Yeah, good advice there for Muller. Yeah,
I have a solution for everything.
Yeah, a lot of people thank you for that. Nothing bad can happen from that kind of thing. Drinking alone at home. Anyway, now that we're here, we've assembled our bar, which is just you and me in this case, so that we can answer the super chats we couldn't do on the night. So, if you're ready, I'm ready. I think we could probably start answering them.
Yes.
Right. Okay, so the first ones here are from Snex, who's good enough to send us in the super chats, or the member super chats that we missed. So the first one is from David S. Mart Jr. Hail to the fellowship. Thanks for the content. I'm at 800 plus subs. Can you give a shout out to the smart review? It means a lot to me. Muller, you is awesome.
Oh, thank you. And yeah, I guess see what smart reviews all about there on the YouTubes.
Hopefully they are reviews which are also smart. Chris Nicholson says, I hated how in the PS4 game it's mentioned that Peter and MJ broke up because he was trying to stop her from dangerous situations. Of course he did. Peter has powers and even he regularly almost dies. I mean, it's a crazy idea that you'd want to protect your girlfriend, the woman you love, from danger.
I know the fridge meme, like a fridge falls on Spider-Man and he's like, help me. I know that happens at some point. And I know that there's a level where you play as MJ, and I think I don't want to go too far here, but I think people have claimed like you're more effective overall at taking enemies down as her than you are as Spider-Man because of her taser. It like makes shit really fast.
Yeah, I think because it's like a stealth-based mission when you're playing as MJ. So I wonder what they could have been going for there.
Don't know.
What's this one here? Oh, Terry Masters says, Muller, have you seen that they re-released Lord of Rings War in the North? Have you played the original and would you recommend it? I'm curious to play it.
I never played it, so I can't speak to that, I'm afraid.
No problem. Well, actually, it is a problem for this guy because he wanted to ask you that question. It's what happens sometimes. Fatness Never Lean says, Muller, starting the EFAP Arcane arc, would you recommend Season 1 at all, or skip all of it? Also love the Squid Game arc. Thanks, Longman, and cheers, Drinker.
Well, I mean, the show itself, I hyper recommend Season 1. If you want to go on an adventure of exploring writing, you know, you can obviously watch the show, Season 1, watch our coverage, and then watch Season 2, and then watch our coverage. We do a full breakdown of both. You can check out Random Film Talks videos for those as well. But if you're looking to avoid watching another IP burst into flames, just don't watch the second season. It ends at the first season, and that's it.
That's a good way to look at it. Cannon Falderall says, excellent 96 recap, Longman. Bit of trivia. A chunk of Spider-Man Brand New Days cast, Tom Holland, Jacob Batalon, and Florence Pugh were born in 96. Cheers. That's kind of scary, actually. James Badillion says, Drinker, the Scotsman never saw Train Spotting. I don't know what to believe anymore. Was he ever even drunk, or was it all a lie? When did I say I didn't see Train Spotting? Of course I've seen it.
They're just mixing that up, I think, with you saying you weren't going to pick it for your favorite.
Ah, okay. Yeah.
Because, I mean, I would have thought you'd seen that for sure. You've referenced
I absolutely
it
have. Yeah, I think I've taken flack in the past for saying that I'm not a huge fan of Train Spotting because it's fucking horrible people in a horrible place doing horrible things to each other. It just, doesn't really do it for me, I'm afraid. and I'm not going to be browbeaten into liking it. But yes, I have seen it, much to my dismay.
Wow.
The Tree Wizard says, picked up Empires of the Undergrowth to help me with the mall withdrawal. I'm now kind of addicted. Cheers, massives. What is Empires of the Undergrowth? I'm not sure what that is.
Oh, that's the game that I narrate.
Oh.
But yes, I guess if you wanted to hear me narrate something, it is funny. Every once in a while, I will get a comment on my videos saying, "Isn't this the guy from that Ant game?" So that's fun.
That is kind of cool. That is kind of cool. Would you do more things like that?
I'd love to if I had more time. And I think they're adding content to that game. So as far as I know, I might even get contacted to do more narration for it, which I'll obviously make room for that in the sense of it's like a project that I've done before. But right now, not a great amount of room. But I have wanted to experiment with doing like narration in some way. Sounds like fun, or other games or some wacky projects.
Cool. Charlie Brown is a winner. Says David Morse, Sully from Commando, William Forsythe, that one guy from The West Wing, yeah, Vanessa Marcel, Tony Todd, Michael Bain, Connery, Harris, Cage. The Rock cast was freaking loaded. It was. It was a great cast. Love it. Lion Main Man says, gun gooners are seething right now. Yeah, I mean, it's probably not going to be around much longer. Sailor Man says, so how about that Lobo AI usage, the gun panic fires? What is the AI usage for Lobo?
Oh, yeah. So I don't know if you saw that, but they released some behind the scenes stuff. And it showed the director and Jason Momoa looking at AI generated images for Lobo, I guess, for different looks and different scenes, which has just people have used that to slaughter Supergirl as a production, like it's got AI all over it. Which, obviously, I would have assumed that this is coming in for just all productions now, like AI concept work. It's gonna fucking wash over the whole industry.
Because I'm trying to think how I feel about them just doing it for like, okay, what would you look like if he was wearing a red cape or something, just to give you a rough idea, and then it's like, well, then we can pass it off to our artists or our costume people.
Well, back in the day, you'd have concept artists draw up a whole bunch of options themselves, I guess.
Yeah, I suppose so.
Sector by sector, everyone will be replaced.
I guess that's the point, isn't it? Yeah. Silent Evil says, in a few weeks, I rectify a 35-year-old mistake. On opening weekend of July 3rd, 1991, I waited in line with my mother at the theater to see Problem Child 2 instead of the movie I should have elected to watch, August 29th. Yeah, well, I suppose you weren't to know back then, although you probably should have done. But yeah, you can rectify that now, and I hope you enjoy yourself. Go for Broke says, will Nutsa join the bar? Who is Nutsa again?
Oh, she's a YouTuber who does commentary on a lot of different things. Like most recently, Stranger Things. We have her on EFAB a whole bunch. I don't know if Open Bar is the same kind of vibe that she would be sort of into or not, but maybe.
Yeah, I can always ask her. Big J says, Platoon, since you're utilizing the 1997 Odyssey miniseries in your Nolan Odyssey reviews, I'm guessing you gave it a watch. What are your thoughts on it, and would you recommend it to the panel? Unfortunately, Platoon is not here. I am assuming he did watch it because he's a pretty thorough guy, particularly if he was using footage from it. But yeah, no idea if he liked it or not, unfortunately. I'm assuming you haven't watched the TV miniseries from the 90s, Muller.
No.
I heard very mixed things about it. Some people saying this is the much truer and better version of the Odyssey. Other people saying no, it's cheap 90s slop. Stop pretending it's amazing just because it's not Nolan's version. So I'm not sure which one to believe, really. Lego Liam says, afternoon open bar. I managed to go to Terrificon and meet the legend Ron Perlman, along with authors John Jackson Miller and Timothy Zahn. Wonderful people, great experience. I hope you come to Connecticut one day, drinker. I'd like to do that, yeah. I saw Ron Perlman at MegaCon this year. I was kind of struck by how short he is. I don't know why. I feel like he's always portrayed as like these big, like muscle-bound guys in a lot of his shows. You know, he looks very big and imposing. But when
Maybe
I
just
actually
shrinking.
saw him, I mean, he is pretty old now, and you do shrink a little bit with age. But yeah, I was struck by how small he was. Never mind. Tab Extra says, why don't Hollywood make movies with a realistic budget? They can't make an S tier movie with 100 million. I guess they can't. No, not anymore. Yeah, you have to leave it to the independents. Eric K says, have Gooch tell the story about when I met him and his wife. I have a cousin with the nickname Gooch. He wanted me to tell it what it means to his wife. I'll need to ask Gooch about that next time I talk to him. Justin Anstey says, any relation to Graham Gooch, the cricketer? I suspect not, since one's British, the other's American, but you never know.
You never know.
Joshua Henderson says, Gary needs to learn never to meet his heroes. George R.R. Martin refused to shake his hand, and now Shatner blocked him for calling Will Wheaton a bad word. Yeah, it was worth it, though.
Some heroes work out when you meet them. You know,
exactly. And I saw a tweet from Shatner today, I think, where he was like, "Oh yeah, it's come to my attention. People are saying that I'm not the one who runs this account, and it's someone else, but it is me, honest." And I'm like, "Well, how can anyone verify that? You're just saying it."
Yeah,
I've heard. It's kind of an open secret that he doesn't run his own Twitter account, because why would he even care about that shit? The Epic Wolf says, I love Mauler, Drinker, and Platoon, but Platoon is a wonderful weirdo. I love that man. You all get part of this, so I am happy. Oh, well, thank you very much.
Yeah.
And Platoon is a wonderful weirdo, and that's why we like him. Thomas Wilson says, Gary, why did you block me? Shatner, I don't play basketball. Sure. Okay.
All right.
Sty Games says, while the MCU is imploding, Vulture is retired on a beach in Cuba with Morbius in the real sacred timeline. So it would appear. I'd be happy with that. Gav Newton, what the hell happened to the summer blockbuster? Answer that, guys. Well, the MCU happened to it. And kind of swallowed up the whole concept of summer blockbusters into themselves and drove everyone else out of business. And when they became shit, there really wasn't anything to replace them. This is the first year where we had, I would say, like, I don't know, a resurgence in this kind of thing.
Yeah.
You know, particularly with Spider-Man. Like, it's reached $2 billion now. That's insane, man. Let's see. Yeah, Nathan Cassidy says, I had fun making these simps lose their minds when I used their logic against them by pointing out that the Punisher is also a good guy if Jean is. Funny how that works, huh? Yeah, Taylor Yazbek echoes the same point. If Jean can decide who dies, then why can't Frank? Because he's a man.
I will say Jean's forcing so many brains to break. Because you know as well as I do, right? Like once enough time passes, everyone will be on the same page with Jean.
And I think they know they're wrong, but they're like, the people that I don't like are pointing out something that I don't like, and so I have to just pretend that they're wrong about it, for now at least.
I know there's been many examples, including Wanda, but like this one really felt kind of like, man, you really... like your hype is so high you can't tell yet with this one, because like, you know, plenty of people I know who really love the movie still recognize the Jean shit, but so many people don't.
Yeah, it's fascinating. Texas Krav Maga says, thanks for sporting our shirt again. Glad you like it. Love your videos, especially the screen tourism and crash and burn. Well, thank you very much, my friends. I appreciate the donation, and I appreciate the t-shirt you gave me, as you can tell, because I still wear it from time to time on stream. And it's great. So thanks, guys. The Key Man, what are your favorite drama movies from 1999 or 2000 or earlier, especially crime, legal, political, or psychological dramas? To anyone. Right. So what? Crime, legal, political, or psychological dramas? This would be from the 90s, basically, or earlier.
Best dramas.
Yeah, we just left so much dead air there. Like...
I mean, I'm thinking about like how I even classify drama, and then the sort of subsets, and then which ones even came out in the 90s. It's kind of like,
I mean, so I guess you know the obvious thing is something like the Shawshank Redemption, because like that is ultimately a drama. I mean, it's set in like a period piece, but it's pretty much what you've got. Yeah, things like, I don't know, Silence of the Lambs is like your kind of psychological thrillers. Unforgiven, that's a Western drama.
I was about to
like
say
92.
Drama exclusively feels like a difficult, just because of everything having like a secondary or adjacent. Would Shawshank Redemption be like exclusively a drama? What about
What else would I define it as?
What about like action movies, but what about like Point Break?
Yeah, that's really an action. I'd put that more as an action thriller. LA Confidential?
If that counts, this is the problem. I've always hated genre discussions because I get confused. Like, what about Reservoir Dogs? Is that crime drama?
Well, yeah, that comes under crime. So yeah, I think that's pretty good choice. And then Pulp Fiction again is the same thing. So yeah, there'd probably be some of our big recommendations there.
Is Fight Club? That's 99, right?
Yeah.
If that counts.
Psychological thriller.
So yeah, that's got to be in there. Goodfellas, I think, was 1990. So
throw in there as well.
These would definitely be picked. Yes.
All right. Tommy says, "Can't wait to see the Marvel versus DC movie directed by Sean Levy." Well, that's when you know they've properly bottomed out. I think we've done everything now. That's all we got left. Eddie Brock says, "Funny you ask about MJ in the comics, Drinker. She's been an actress, a model, a nightclub owner, Tony Stark's personal assistant, Jackpot, and the new Venom. So she's had a busy old time of it, hasn't she, MJ? They've done pretty much everything with her." Zero Zenith. James Gunn just released the first 5 minutes of Lanterns for free on X for a TV show. Jesus, the desperation is fucking palpable. Yeah, I'd be pretty fucking desperate if I was James Gunn right now.
Did you see that 5 minutes, by the way, or is that before?
Well, I've been away this weekend, so I haven't really had a chance.
I just don't remember when they even dropped that. But yeah, it's there's you know what? We won't get into it yet. We'll just wait for the episodes to come out.
Sure. Can't wait. I'm so excited for it. When does it hit?
It's very soon, actually. I could have sworn it's within the week. I think it's before the EFAP anniversary is last, because I remember Free saying that. So
would I be right saying expectations, or should I say anticipation, is not exactly sky high?
I have a feeling that for the first few episodes, you'll get some people saying there's really good shit, or it's really cool, or it could go this direction. And by the time it wraps up, people are going to say it's absolute shit. Yep, that's my prediction. Right. We've had many such cases for this sort of thing.
Yeah.
It's the same thing. TV shows are particularly annoying with this front, because if it's really bad to start, a lot of people will be like, yeah, wait for it to like get its legs, wait for it to find its way. And also they're going to recontextualize this. No. What you don't, they're under mind control. No. It's an illusion. No. It's actually going to be something else. You're like, okay. Have you seen people speculating that they're clearly setting up that Robert Downey Jr. is not Doom, that someone else is Doom, and that it's a fake out?
Yeah, I've heard people say that. And
it is kind of just like, guys, that's not going to make the film good, though. Like, even if they did that, I don't know why. But hey, you know what? Go nuts with speculation. Why not?
I mean, at least if it's generating something,
yeah,
it's interest. That's something they haven't had in the MCU for quite a while.
True.
The Northic says, when Peter said, You're not a killer, Gene. People in my theater reacted with words of confusion.
Well, the creators came out and said it's true. And so a lot of people use that as evidence. The analysis on her being a killer is wrong, which is fascinating coming from the people who are the major proponents of death of the author.
Oh, yeah, that's interesting.
What are you going to do?
It's fine, though, when it supports your conclusions.
Hmm.
Matthew A. says, the first MCU Spider-Man film, MJ, was insufferable. Yes, she was.
Sure,
She has gotten gradually less annoying over time. Like,
I
I
just
think
think
she
it's been
was...
a huge mistake that they've both, Ned and her, in 4 movies, and there's not 4 movies worth, there's not 2 movies, there's not 1 movie worth of, like, great character for them too.
No, really not. They're completely wasted for the most part.
Unfortunately, they just seem to never have taken them seriously as characters. They're more so, they're very much supporting, not even supporting characters, supporting, like, vibes.
Yeah. Yeah, particularly Zendaya, just like it's the meta around her rather than the character that people are warm or invested in. Rossi says, much love to Kada and my Minotaur mentor. Very nice. DB says, Sydney Sweeney as Black Cat, 3 billion box office. Probably. They'll never do it, though.
3 billion.
Jegson Voorhees, comic Mary Jane is a successful supermodel / actress. Wow, way to go, Peter. Albert Nada Retro says, Zemo did nothing wrong. I'm well behind Zemo on most of what he did.
He was the only person that comes out of Falcon the Winter Soldier, like, awesome. Remember he blew up the fucking tank filled with super soldiers or whatever it was?
Yeah.
That was awesome.
That's pretty
cool.
Which
is crazy considering how awful that show is.
Yeah. Eatman, true director's cut of Event Horizon in 4K as intended, or a copy of Batwoman that you can anonymously auction to the highest bidder for a fortune. Oh.
Do they mean Batgirl?
I think they mean Batgirl, yeah.
Right.
So, bringing Batgirl back and probably sell it off for a shitload of money. You know what? Some things are more important than money, and Event Horizon is one of those things. So I'll take the director's cut, the uncut Event Horizon.
What if you're allowed to watch it, give your review and breakdown of it, and then you're allowed to release it on your channel and monetize it?
I mean, that'd probably make me more money than than the Batgirl by a long way.
Would you sacrifice 4K Event Horizon for that?
Oh, right, with Batwoman. Yeah, so... nah, I still wouldn't. Fuck it.
Good man.
I'd still take it.
Even though it would be very funny.
It would be, yeah. Nortrom. What about Jean Grey in The Last Stand? She vaporized everyone she came across. No bodies. I mean,
yeah, no bodies. True.
Yeah. I guess it didn't happen then. Jacob Davies. Zendaya's MJ is a bona fide genius to build a mutant inhibitor. It would take ordinary teams of engineers and researchers decades to create something like that. Yeah. But it's
no, she looked at the screen and she understood most of it. Don't worry about it.
Yeah, it's girls doing tech stuff in the MCU. It just happens naturally. Yeah, Gene the Machine. It's amazing that they want us to believe that John Walker is a bad guy who only killed one terrorist and no innocent people, nor harmed them, whose crime was becoming Captain America. Double standard much. Yeah, it's difficult to ignore at a certain point, eh?
I mean, they've pushed Jean so far, and people are still like, "No, she's awesome." But John Walker should be in prison. You're like, okay, all right. Remember he got dishonorably discharged.
Yes.
Yeah,
he did. And now he's just a joke. He's just there for you to laugh at. That was his role in Thunderbolts, pretty much.
God, they hate him.
Yeah.
And yet he's like the only character they have left. It's worthwhile.
Sty Games says, what had a better life, Guns DCU or the PS Vita? I think the PS Vita, yeah, it's going to be like its legacy will be that it's less hated than Guns DCU as well. So
we're just revving up on how people are going to rip him to shreds. Because remember, all of us in our sector have been critical of him for a long time, and so none of this is shocking. but a lot of his fans are about to experience through Lanterns and then Man of Tomorrow, like, this thing is coming down.
Yeah.
And they thought he knew everything. He thought they knew what he was doing.
He was the guy who was going to save it. Louis G says, my wife is what Gary would call a normie, and she loved the movie. She doesn't like to overanalyze. She thought I ruined the film by asking how Peter makes money or saying that Jean is an evil killer. I mean, we laugh, right? But clearly a lot of people process this film in a similar way, where it's like, just don't think about it too much. Just look at the bright colors and the fun action on screen.
Well, there's that, but there's also the don't worry about it. Like, if someone says like, hey, how come blah 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 blah, and then you go, oh shit, it's like you don't have to be terrified of like that's going to change how I feel about that scene. You can instead be like, oh yeah, that does change how I feel about that, huh?
Yeah,
it's fine.
Or like, probably another reaction will be, yep, you got a point there. That's a bit of a plot hole, and it does count against the film. But overall, I still really enjoyed it, so it doesn't bother me that much.
That's what I mean. If say for example someone responds to something in one of my videos, say for example I just say that's a plot hole because blah blah blah, and then they go, oh my god, yes, okay, but it doesn't ruin the whole film. Like, what's wrong with you? Why are you doing this? Blah, 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 and they go on like, who's right? I'm just sitting there like, you could have just said you agree, and then we move on. It sounds like you agree that it's a plot hole. That's all. Just agree. You don't have to do the thing about the end of the world.
Robert Kearney says, John Lithgow as Dr. Emilia Lizardo is some of the best no-holds-barred leave my ego at the door I have ever seen. So great. I won't even mention Roberta Muldoon. Let's see. Yeah, G. Mort says, nobody shot a president for Zendaya. I mean, not yet. You don't know. Yeah, that was Jodie Foster back in the day, wasn't it? Shooting Reagan to get her attention. Did it work?
Didn't he? He made like a public statement to her recently.
Oh, what's saying? Sorry about that.
Let me see if I can find it a second. If you want to carry on.
Yeah, because I mean, she was really young at the time. That's bound to have fucked her up a little bit.
Yeah,
possibly more than Hollywood already did. Just while you're looking that up here, I'll say the Epic Wolf says you could add the weird nose thing to Zendaya's Dune character and see the only real difference. She is okay in general, but oversaturated for sure. Yes, I very much agree on that one. Margie M says season 3 of Linus is awesome so far. Maybe that clip that we saw there just wasn't very representative of the overall show. I can take that as a possibility. Epic Wolf says, as per the Zoe Saldana clip, we need the unsub boys. They know. Hollywood does not. All right. Sponge Boy Me Bob. I saw 2 separate officers lose their commissions over behavior like this while I was in the army. Yeah, kind of feels like that's what would happen. And Mitch says, if they really had to introduce the X-Men, they should have used a more morally grey character like Mystique or even Magneto instead of Jean Grey. Yes, indeed. Yeah. Unless they're going to make her evil in this. I just don't think they'd have the balls to do that, though.
Yeah, he said, I wish Jodie Foster well, I don't really see her movies, but I wish her well, and I know she's doing well, and that's all I can say. I wish her well. I hope she has a good life. I wanted to have a union with Jodie Foster and live the rest of my life with her, and all these things that, of course, were delusional. But I was believing these things at the time, so best outcome would have been a union with Jodie Foster. I thought she'd, just after things settled down, she would join me wherever I was. I wasn't sure if I was going to be in jail or hospital. I had this notion that she would just join me wherever I was.
I mean, shoot for the stars, I guess. He definitely went all in on that one.
Yeah.
It was a bold strategy, Cotton. I don't think it paid off for him. So is he still in jail? Has he been released or what?
No, he's out. Because he went to, I think, a psychiatric facility of some kind, and then he was found cured, sane, whatever, after however many years.
Mm-hmm. Well, there you go. Sounds like he's still not quite put her behind him, though. There's still time. There's always a chance, mate. Never give up hope.
So you're saying there's a chance?
Yeah. Albert Nada Retro says, now I'm glad I never watched the Lioness show. Seems like it.
Yeah.
Nordstrom says, if some liberal college grad wrote this, I'd understand, but this is Taylor Sheridan. What the hell was he thinking? I mean, he's hit or miss sometimes. Generally, he's pretty solid. I mean,
if
does
all
he
he had
write-
written was Sicario, I would have said he's an absolute genius. Unfortunately, he wrote the sequel as well, so now I'm like, I don't know what to do with you.
You watched any of his other stuff?
I've only heard good things about a lot of his stuff, but I simultaneously I know that he works real fast, which inevitably probably will create some bumps.
Yeah. Yeah, he does, because I'm looking at the credits for season 3. He writes all of it.
Which good for him. Excellent to keep that much coming out, and a lot of it is good from what I understand. But this stuff, that clip you showed,
Rough. Yeah, pretty rough. Let's see. Snex says, I want to see them try that with R. Lee Ermey. In case you're not familiar, you know who he is, Mauler. He's the drill sergeant from Full Metal Jacket.
Wait, sorry, were you saying in case you didn't know, or was the super chat?
I was about to start with that and like the super chat or whoever's watching this, and then I thought, no, I'll flip it and say like, right, Mauler, obviously you know who he is, and just lead in with that.
Of course I know. He was the little toy soldier man in Toy Story. That's his main role.
Very distinctive voice, very cool guy, had a very interesting career, which again,
Yeah.
I'm sure you know how he got like into movies just from.
He was the advisor, was he? And then he became the actual, because he was like, I can do better than the guy you've got.
Yes, that's exactly it.
And holy shit, what a fucking move! Because yeah, whenever he's on screen, he has a crazy presence.
Yeah. What I didn't know until I did some research on Full Metal Jacket is that he was in a massive car crash while they were filming that movie. Broke many bones in his body, including his arm, which is why in some scenes when he's parading up and down the barracks and yelling at people, he's got one arm like kind of held really stiff behind his back. It's because of that. Like he couldn't really move it until he'd fully recovered. But there he was, acting up a storm.
A fucking Kubrick movie. You get your big break. You force yourself on. This could be the big period. You get a fucking car crash.
Yep.
I like that he was just like, this will not stop me.
Yeah. Fucking brilliant. I mean, probably he was trying to drive down the wrong side of the road in Britain because that's where they filmed all those scenes. So who knows? Sponge Boy Me Bob says, worked with Federals before. They do not behave like this. Total fiction. Disgraceful. Sounds pretty much right. Yeah. Everyone who's had any experience in the military or working with like, federal forces, they all seem to be saying the same thing here. A Rookie Fire, I think we read this out on the night, but I'll repeat it here because it was a $50 one. If anybody needs to seek asylum in the US for buying a baseball bat and having the audacity to walk around with it in a package, let me know. I know some guys who will sponsor visas. They employ drunks and Cthulhu lords, even the gays platoon. I think we did talk about this on the night, but yeah, that clip is insanity, man. Like, just bought a baseball bat and he walks out the store with it, like still in its wrapper, and like it gets pounced on by a police officer. Gruber Mensch says, Sergeant, you're acting like your mother. Sounds about right. Bass player, when was Sultana good? Sultana? If you want to argue with the first Guardians, fine, but nothing else on her resume is impressive. Let's see. I mean, I'm pretty sure she's had some pretty good roles.
Well, because you got her in Pirates of the Caribbean, the first one. She's just sort of there. You have the Star Trek movies is kind of meh. She's never bad though. Usually, right? She's always a
decent presence, I think, in a movie.
I think to her credit too, it's not just Guardians like 1 that she's good in. I think she's good in Infinity War as well. Like adds to it by being there. I mean,
yeah, adds to it by dying.
She's she puts in effort as well for the Avatar films. I find the writing in them so retarded that like it's hard for me to be praiseworthy of like the performances sometimes.
Well, yeah, I mean I don't blame you at all for that. They are rough, but with someone like Sam Worthington, like obviously the mocap and everything will capture their expressions. Like with him, he's just bland as fuck. Like Jake Sully is just the most boring character.
Yeah.
Whereas, as you say, like her performance really shines through despite all the stupid alien, CGI that's like masking her face. You still see that it's Zoe Saldana, and it's recognizable, and it's like, yeah, you can tell that she's going for it there.
Yeah, like I was looking at some of the BTS stuff for like her in that show, and obviously Nicole Kidman's in it as well. And it's like, Nicole, when are you going to be deciding that you're going to stop getting work done?
I think she really needs to stop.
She's taking it a little too far. You remember the Catwoman movie, right?
Yeah.
The Halle Berry one.
Yeah.
The villain in that is Sharon Stone, and her thing is like she's got some kind of weird goo or product that turns your face so that you don't age, and then but like it'll make it rock hard to the point where you can like shatter it or some shit. I can't remember all of it, but she just reminds me of that because she's like 60 nearly.
Yeah,
but she's trying to come across as though she's still like 25. Like, okay.
Yeah. And it's not just her face. Like she's definitely had a boob job because they are way bigger now than they were back in the day.
I think, you're gonna run out of technology soon enough, Nicole. There's only so far science can go.
Yeah, we're reaching the limits of what science can do. I want more, damn it. Nate says, I hear people saying it's because Jean doesn't trust people. Doesn't have to trust anything. She's a telepath. She literally perceives your intent.
Well, the trust stuff usually comes up regarding Spider-Man, whose head she can't get in, but still did get somewhat in a little bit. But doesn't really need to trust him. Just rely on the fact that his reputation is the goodest, nicest, bestest person of all time. Like, that's his public reputation. Just tell him about the sister. Just tell him. See what he does. See what he says. Just tell him.
Hugh Rolls says, do you know who Judd Buechler is? No? He has 3 NBA rings. Do you know why? Because he was on the same team as Michael Jordan. Zendaya is the exact same. She's being carried. Sorry for circling back to Zendaya. It's all right. It always ends up back there. And to some extent, maybe. Like, I don't think... I said this on the night. I don't think any movie that she has actually headlined, that she has been the star of, has done particularly well. But she's in these insanely expensive or insanely successful films just there. She's just in it, but she's not really contributing anything. I don't think The Odyssey was made better by Zendaya's presence, so you can't really say she's responsible for like a $1.6 billion movie. Same with Spider-Man. Like in this one, she's not really doing much. She's there, but the movie made $2 billion. So can you say that Zendaya is like one of the top earners in box office terms for this year? I wouldn't say so. Would you?
By the definition of she's the one drawing it in, or by the definition of raw numbers of how much she's actually got?
Well, drawing it in, really. Like, I guess what I'm saying is like nobody came to see either of these two movies because Zendaya's in them. But
I mean, I certainly don't buy that. I feel like if you switched her out for if she doesn't appear in the movie at all and Jean Grey isn't in it, instead we get like a Tombstone Scorpion combo and Sadie Sink plays the new MJ, like actual MJ. I mean, if anything, I think you get more money.
I would be willing to bet yes. A Million Man 1 says, Brand New Day was on IMDb's top 250 films of all time less than a week after release. It gets worse when you see the films below it. Rocky, The Exorcist, The Terminator, The Big Lebowski, The Sound of Music, just a few.
You should be banned from getting onto a list like that unless you've been out for at least like, it's got to be longer than a fucking week.
Yeah. What is our fucking culture, man? What is it now?
Terminator.
Right. I mean, it's like holding up a Big Mac and saying, like, this is nouvelle cuisine. This should get a Michelin star. Why? Well, because like
Why?
because it's really popular and loads of people have bought them.
The
That's
hype.
if that's your definition, then sure.
Look, it
Like,
happened to Superman. It will happen to Brand New Day. People will turn on it.
yeah, we'll see. Hollow Chicklets. A 40-minute video by anyone else would be considered long. I'm all for Mauler doing more vids around that length to pump out more content.
I mean, I'm always editing something, and I have been editing something. I've already kind of implied and talked about what it was, but there was also something else that was put on pause that I'm just in that situation again. The thing that has to happen is it has to line up a couple things. I really cared about this one, and I felt like I was going insane watching a lot of people talk about it. So I was like, I really want to make a video, and I think I have something unique to say about it. Hence the fucking ridiculous speed. Also tied to the fact that I thought my PC was going to die, and so I needed to do it as fast as possible.
It's a good motivator.
Yeah.
Daval says a more realistic version would be the woman hitting Josh Brolin in Sicario and nothing happening. Yeah, I've cited that before as like a really good example of like, let's stop pretending that women and men are just exactly the same and that a girl can beat the shit out of a guy who's like way bigger and stronger than her. Physics do not correspond to your ideology, I'm afraid. And yeah, it was pretty cool that they had the balls to put that in there.
Sicario's a ballsy movie.
Yeah. Mega Spidey Man says, to all of you, favorite video of your guests and why? Let's see. Yeah, and the second part of that is ideal brand new day and why. I'd love him just facing Tombstone and his criminal enterprise while making new friends. Yep. Perfect, as Mulder was just talking about there. I don't know, should we just do each other then? So favorite videos of the other person?
A favorite of yours for me would be the falling down one.
Ooh.
It might be my favorite. I'm not sure. I'd have to think about it and look through the selection. But I like when you dig in and you talk about something that means a lot to you, but also how it's like reflective of a lot of things that are going on and why it was so important when it was made, but also important now. That sort of stuff.
Good choice. No, I did like that one. That did way better than I ever expected it to, actually. For yours, it's probably your TLJ review. I think just because it was so cathartic to like hear you just absolutely tear it apart, but do it in such a methodical fashion. It was intensely satisfying as a review and really funny as well, which is great.
Yeah, some of this crazy to me is like we're a year and a half from that being a decade old.
Yes.
Decade.
It's crazy.
Time really moved, didn't it?
Yeah. And look where we're at now as a culture and as an entertainment industry. Doing great.
Yeah, it only got better.
Let's see. Scott J says, Joan Allen, aka Pamela Landy, did a great job playing a high-ranking female CIA officer in the Bourne movies. Not sure what this show is trying to do. Yeah, I remember her being quite good, actually. Very, very clinical, very efficient. Good stuff. Screwball Sector says, UC... yeah. What does that stand for? UCMJ? It's like Universal or... something like Code of Military Justice, Article 133, conduct unbecoming an officer. That's essentially what they would get charged with for their behavior that we saw in that clip. Mega Spidey Man says, favorite Marvel villains and why? Kingpin and GG for me. So, favorite villains.
So it's like a broad multimedia sort of thing, or are we talking MCU with Marvel? But I assume...
I'd probably stick with the MCU, I think.
Oh, that's easy then. It's going to be Zemo, Vulture, and Thanos, probably.
Yeah. I was going to go with Thanos myself, because it's a very obvious choice, but they put the work in with that guy. They built him up. They fleshed him out really well. Gave him an understandable objective. Good shit.
Certainly not so much an Endgame. But Infinity War, man, his quotes,
Yeah.
It's good shit.
Andrew Loudon says, Mauler, that alpha dog that you mentioned is King Charles Dog. You can follow the account online. The true alpha dog has calm energy and restrains any who act up. crazy because he's basically just a mutt.
Yeah, it was the one I was talking to you about on the stream.
Yeah, the dogs that are barking at each other, and this one just comes in and looks at them, and they settle down.
I'll have to see if I can find the video.
Yeah, that'd be cool. Dark Slide Riker says Bonta is one of the worst AGs in the country. This is the AG who was trying to block the Paramount buyover of Warner Brothers. His 2A decisions and case is a story of politically motivated failure and Scottus slapping him down. The Paramount case is just another example. And yet somehow he's still allowed to keep plowing on, eh? It's fascinating how that works. David Jessup says, saw part of Mahler's Spider-Man Brand New Day and Unbridled Rage. I repeat, the Hulk sneaks up on Spider-Man. That had me rolling for about 10 minutes.
Yeah, I've not really seen anybody try to counter that one. Like, this just, what do you even say? It's fucking Spider-Man.
Yeah. Nortram, it's not just movies and TV Paramount will obtain from the acquisition. They'll also get the video games from Warner Brothers. And if I'm not mistaken, they will also inherit the Nemesis system pattern from Shadow of Mordor. Well, there you go. So they get the whole lot. Mr. Corso says, give Snyder Superman again and keep him away from Rebel Moon. Oh, yeah, that's why we did our poll. That was crazy, man.
Yeah.
That was like, I think it was 93% it ended up. They would rather restore the Snyderverse than keep the Gunverse going.
Yeah.
I mean, interesting. Graham Bergdorf. Gunn is like Taika Waititi. They both need handlers. Taika Waititi needs a giant cup of calm the fuck down.
I mean, I don't even know if... What is he even doing? He feels like he's completely ruined his reputation.
Hasn't he? Well, he's doing Judge Dredd, isn't he?
Oh
Apparently.
my god, that's just... What bigger joke is there than that?
Yeah. We'll never get that Carl Urban sequel. John Wayne, 1985. I would rather pay money to voice the loudest neither than vote for either Gunn or Snyder. Screw your binary poll. Well, that was the choice I forced on you all.
That's like the point, bro. It's like, what would you do if you had to choose?
Yeah, exactly. It's like, well, I'm not going to give you the option to not choose. Like, I need to know.
Yes.
Joshua Henderson says, delete the Snyderverse and the Gunverse. The DCAU is the goal. Oh, yeah, the animated universe. 1990 BJK says, at least with Snyder, we can have phallic-shaped spaceships for no reason again. I mean, truly, he's bringing out the best in cinema. Yeah, Jonathan Lampkin says, bro for life. Your rant about the 40k universe on Last Orders has me wanting to jump in. Where should I start? Also, do you have a son? I mean, maybe. It's hard to know for sure these days. But with 40k, the first book in the series is called Horus Rising. That's chronologically, I think, the first book in the Heresy series. And that'll get you started on your path to true heresy. But it's good shit, man. You'll enjoy it. Let's see. Oh, yeah, there's a couple there that I'd already done. Waddle These Nuts says, I want Snyder to dress up as Doctor Doom and announce his return by unmasking himself at the next DC panel. That'd be fun, actually. I just want to see people melt down over it. Like, if he actually came back, I'd love to see the Gun Bros and how they took it. Simon Butterfield says, when I was a kid, Linda Carter, Nicholas Hammond, and Bill Bixby played 3 of my favorite characters. And yes, I'm old. Yeah, but you got classic back then, you know? I mean, Linda Carter, she was hot, man.
Mm-hmm.
Let's see. Ryan Bailey. Worthington's Clash of the Titans was the first time I noticed the ancient heroes hate the gods trope modern media has inflicted on us. Yeah, they've really stuck with that one. What's this? Scots Thinker. Hail drinker at an open bar. As a Scotsman myself, it was surreal seeing Glasgow turned into Manhattan for Brand New Day. I want to ask Mr. Drinker, sir, What did you think of Glasgow being used for Brand New Day? So this I didn't really care about because there's nothing about Glasgow that makes me think, oh yeah, that's a great match for New York. You know, it's more like when they use it for things like Gotham City. I think that's an interesting choice because the architecture and stuff of Glasgow is actually pretty interesting for that kind of environment. That I think lends itself a bit more. I don't know what the rationale was for turning Glasgow into New York for Brand New Day, because it's generally a brighter and more cheerful version of New York than something like Gotham City would be. Bit of a strange one. Joshua Guzman says, "This is totally irrelevant, but have any of you watched Slow Horses?"
No, but I've heard it's good.
I started it. I watched a few episodes. It is pretty good. Dialogue is great. I just never quite, never quite got into it enough to keep plowing on. Let's see. Grindodrome says, "Critical drinker destroyed his liver, at least." Nah, it's pretty much bulletproof at this point. Joshua Delori says, "It's my brother's 30th birthday today. Would any of y'all mind giving a happy birthday to my brother Michael?" Well, Michael, happy belated birthday. I'm sorry we're a bit late with that one, but I hope you had a great day.
Dude.
Joshua Henderson. It really baffles me that everybody still holds out hope for that fucking Snyderverse bullshit. I don't know why Henry Cavill and Ben Affleck would want to come back after they've been burned by Warner Brothers. Yeah, I mean, I can't see them wanting to come back.
No.
It would be insane. I would just laugh my ass off if it happened just because it's so like outlandish. But as for any of the people involved wanting to get involved in it again, nah. Bush McFadden says, "All-Star Superman, Warner Brother Animation. That's Superman." Good choice there. The Epic Wolf. Mauler. Spider-Man. Best one. You love Spidey. Your new vid clears it up, honestly. Just want to ask.
Are you asking what my favorite Spider-Man is?
I think that's what he's driving at with this.
I think I answered that on the night because I said it's going to be between probably Spider-Man 2 and Homecoming, and then I really like Into the Spider-Verse as well. But if you're asking me favorite Spider-Man like portrayal, probably it's annoying now because I don't like him in Brand New Day that much because of the choices for characters. So can I pick like am I allowed to say like End of No Way Home Tom Holland Spider-Man?
You could pick whatever you want.
I'll aim for that. That was my perception of what the character was at that point, and the actor. I thought that was a really good pairing.
Though, that movie set up a much more interesting fourth film than probably what we got.
Yeah, I think so. Though I really like Andrew Garfield's, and then of course I like Tobey Maguire's too. I'm not too picky on the Spider-Man. I like them all.
Solzen says, "I was thinking about how different that lioness clip was to Princeps Orla in Kill Lupercal. Have you seen any clips from that yet?" I have not, but now you got my interest. I will have to go and watch that. John Vick says, "Drinker, go to Lynchburg, Tennessee and take the Jack Daniels tour. Let us know if they still brag that Spacey was their biggest buyer." Somehow I don't think they will. But yeah, I'd like to see that. The Epic Wolf says, "Love that the Spidey movies, but the new one just kills the best of those movies. Mubes, tell me you fuck the Ghostbusters writer can write?"
Yes, that's I was telling someone else about Widow's Bay today, and then they said, "What has the creator done?" And I was like, Ghostbusters 2016. They were like, "What?" And I was like, "Look, I don't know what else to tell you. Widow's Bay is a really good TV show, like season." So,
well, that's the thing. Like, was much writing even done for Ghostbusters 2016? Because wasn't most of it ad-libbed?
That was something that was definitely claimed, and I could totally buy. Didn't they say they had like bazillion hours of footage of just the whole film, and they had to cut it all down because they just had everybody just messing around? So yes, probably, and maybe that explains it. I'm just not going to advocate for any of that person's work other than Widow's Bay. That's all I'm saying.
Fair. And the last one here is from Farrett Man, who says, more Snyderverse and no more Star Wars, please. That'd be an interesting world. Well, don't worry. We've got Ahsoka Season 2 coming out. The trailer's out.
Yeah.
Everyone's excited. It's going to be great, I'm sure. It's going to really live up to the first one.
Oh, yeah.
Just as good. Anyway, that one right there was the final super chat of the night. So thank you, everyone. We appreciate you, as we always do, for being so generous and sending us so many of these, asking us so many questions, and helping us get through Open Bar. You guys are what make it worth it. And in fact, I don't know, Mahler, I'd say they're the real heroes of all this.
Yes, even though whenever people say that, I'm like, are we like quoting Homelander? Are we being Homelander right now?
We're Homelandering it. Yes.
Fair enough.
That'll end well. Anyway, guys, thank you for that. And we will catch you in a couple of days when we do the next Open Bar. But for now, that's all we got for today. So go away now.
Bye.